Hello everyone and welcome back to Office 365 Insider with me, Mark Stokes. Thank you for joining me again this week. Luckily we've only got a week's worth of updates to talk about, so hopefully I shouldn't need to keep you too long today. As usual, we're going to go through the message center items, so we're going to look at what incidents have been happening on the platform over the last week, what items are still open and what items have been resolved, so you get a better understanding of what's happening on the platform. You know what issues are down to Microsoft, and when you come to support your users, you know how to deal with the questions that come in, and you know whether it's something you need to fix or not. And then we'll go and look at the roadmap, so we'll look at items that have finished rolling out within the last week, look at the items which have entered the rolling out status in the last week, and then we'll look at the items that have gone into development. It's going to be a little bit noisy today. I am here in the office, but all of the windows are open because it is smoking hot today, and unfortunately if I sit in the wrong place I do get some rather unusual glare, so I apologise if I get weird lights all over my face, but we'll crack on anyway. Okay, so let's jump straight in and let's have a look initially at the message center items. So we can see my tenant currently has 7 issues going on at the moment, and there was 5 issues that were closed within the last week. Bear in mind, this is my tenant of Office 365, so other tenants may vary. Not all tenants are created equal, therefore you may see different, but it gives us an idea of what's currently going on. Okay, so what current issues have I got on my tenant at the moment? So search results may not return as expected. This has been going on since the 27th of July, and apparently in OneDrive for Business, users attempting to search a OneDrive for Business sites may not see the results they are expecting. It doesn't say Sharepoint, normally these are combined, but in this case it just says OneDrive for Business. Okay, any admin may be unable to see custom connectors in Powerapps. This has been going on since the 27th, so admins, the description is the same as the title, so thanks for that extra information. Some users are experiencing shared calendar update problems in Outlook Mobile for iOS. So specific to Outlook Mobile version 4.45, for us, may notice that shared calendars are not updating as expected, and that's been going on since the 22nd of July, so this has been going on for a while. Here we go. Search results may not return as expected, so as I said, normally OneDrive and SharePoint are combined, so here's the SharePoint version of the incident. That's been going on since the 22nd. Users in China can't play back live events in Microsoft Streams. I think we've seen this previously. I think we saw this last week actually as well. So that's still going on. Interesting that Microsoft themselves refer it to as Microsoft Streams as opposed to Microsoft Stream, but there we go. Okay, so any user intermittently unable to open non-Microsoft Office links, we saw this last week as well, so this has been going on since the 16th of July and is still an issue in my tenant. Lastly, some users may not receive My Analytics digest emails. This has been going on since the 16th, so again a long-running one. Okay, so let's look at what items have actually been closed in the last week. And some users can't connect to legacy Microsoft Online PowerShell. That was about a day, or no, about half a day. Any admin may be unable to initiate a message trace within the Exchange Online service. That was an issue going for about 8.5 hours. Actually, sorry, longer than that. That was nearly the whole day. All users can't join Microsoft Teams meetings via the join link in Internet Explorer 11, Safari, and Firefox. That was an issue for a few hours there. All admins are unable to view usage reports after Wednesday, July the 22nd, 2020. So that's now resolved. That went on from the 25th to the 28th of July, but that's resolved, so hopefully all of those usage reports are now all present and correct. And a limited number of users intermittently can't view email messages in Outlook on the web. That was a few days, the 17th to the 25th. Okay, so not a terrible situation there, a few little issues that people may be raising tickets with, so it's good to know. So what we can do now is we can just jump into the roadmap and let's have a look at what's currently going on the platform. Okay, So we have one cancelled item, and that is OneDrive sync reports. It's actually, this item's cancelled, but that's because it's a duplicate of a different issue. So it's not, the feature's not actually being removed, it's just being merged into a different roadmap item. And this is the ability to monitor the health of OneDrive sync app across your organization. So we have 27 items that have completed the launch process. So this means that all these items should now be visible in all tenants across the whole platform. Okay, so we've got 27 of these. Outlook on the web, in products notification of full inbox. So when a user reaches 90% of their inbox capacity, Outlook will show a message on the bottom left, down on the left nav or folder column, warning the user and linking to the settings where they can address this. That would be useful. I'm very interested to see who actually reaches the limits of that Outlook mailbox, because it is massive. Outlook on the web, new experience availability in Gallatin. I don't know, I need someone to tell me what Gallatin is, I need to look at that. So Microsoft recently launched the new Outlook on the web experience for worldwide customers. This is for customers Gallatin. I need to look at what that is. Outlook on the web, send later. So Outlook is adding the option to schedule when you want to send an email message. I'm surprised Outlook on the web didn't have that already. So good to see that coming through. Microsoft Information Protection, exact data match will support data files containing up to 100 million rows. So the size of the data tables that can be uploaded into the exact data match service will increase to 100 million rows. I love it when the description is basically a repeat of the title and gives us nothing extra. Microsoft Teams, batch policy assignments and group policy assignment. So you can streamline the process of assigning policies to multiple users. And the Microsoft Teams PowerShell module now supports the ability to assign a policy to a batch of users or a group, such as a security group or an organization unit. Microsoft Teams, PSTN participant phone numbers are masked from external users for GCC. A very important feature. Quite often you don't want users' individual numbers to be shown, but you want a reception or a central call queuing system to be shown there, so that's good. Yammer, live event carousel on home feed in the new Yammer. So make your Yammer live events more discoverable and encourage participation with a new discovery carousel. And attendees can see relevant events right in their discovery feed and easily click on to join the event. Microsoft Teams, the new experience for launching instant channel meetings. So Meet Now buttons in Teams channels will have a new home. You will soon find them in the channel header where you can easily find and launch the meeting. I think that would be useful. Microsoft Intune company portal website supports SaaS app lifecycle. So Microsoft Intune will allow IT pros to push SaaS apps to end user devices through the company portal website and support SaaS app lifecycle for devices both enrolled and not enrolled in Intune. Microsoft Intune certificate delivery for Mime encryption in Outlook for Android. This one's been floating around for some time. Yammer improved network branding. So this feature is leaving preview as part of the new Yammer. Please see roadmap item 65410 for more details. The new Yammer homepage inherits the Office 365 suite navigation and allows network admins to upload a company logo that will be displayed on the web and in mobile apps. That would be nice. We're always keen on allowing companies to put some semblance of branding onto their applications. Company branding now supported on the Sharepoint mobile app. So again, you'll be able to put the logo and the theme on there, which is good. Service encryption for Exchange Online. So Office 365 offers an added layer of encryption at the application level for customer content in Office 365, including SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business. Microsoft are now rolling out service encryption for Exchange Online. Office 365 advanced message encryption for government clouds. Microsoft Teams, improved Teams meeting join launcher experience. So users who click on the Teams meeting join link will now see an optimized and improved join experience. Users will be prompted with an option to join on the web, download the Teams client, or join with the native Teams client. And this will result in faster and more confident meeting join. Office 365 DLP treats files as sensitive by default until fully scanned. That makes sense. Sharepoint enable modern communication site experience on classic sites. So using PowerShell, admins can now enable the modern communication site experience on any classic team site, including the root site. Interesting one. Outlook on the web, option to end meetings early. So similar to Outlook for Windows, Microsoft are adding the option to have the meetings you create end 0 to 15 minutes before regular scheduled times. I think we saw this in rolling out last week. Additional Power Automate triggers for Microsoft Teams. Again, we saw this in rolling out last week. So that's always good to see. OneDrive Sync help pane on the Mac. So users will be able to get help and troubleshooting content within the sync client. So to open the OneDrive help pane, the user will need to open the Activity Center, then through the Help and Settings menu option, select Get Help. OneDrive for Business, tenant admins have the control over enabling or disabling the option to contact Microsoft support by setting the user preference on their Mac machines. Microsoft Teams location-based routing. Location-based routing is a call management feature that controls how calls are routed. LBR makes it possible to restrict the routing of calls between VoIP endpoints and PSTN endpoints based on the location of the parties in the call. All very useful. Microsoft Planner, copy a link to your task or plan in Planner iOS and Android. So easily share your task or plan with others in your organization by copying and sending a link. AIP scanner for on-premises available for government clouds. I'm sure that would be welcome. AIP unified labeling client for Windows available for government clouds. The Azure AIP protection unified labeling client for Windows is a downloadable client for organizations that use sensitivity labels to classify and protect documents and emails. This client also has a viewer for organizations that don't have their own information protection infrastructure but want to consume content that has been protected by other organizations that use the rights management service from Microsoft. Microsoft Teams Reflect messaging extension. So this gives managers, leaders or teachers an easy way to check in with how their team or students are feeling, either in general or about a specific topic like work-life balance, the status of a project, current events or a change within the organisation. We spoke about this last week. I think this is a great feature. We use this internally. People just need to be aware of the data protection and GDPR implications of tracking people's emotional state. Microsoft Teams class materials now accessible for Android devices. Microsoft Teams, a new lobby setting. Only the organizer joins the meeting directly. Okay, so that's everything that has completed its launch cycle over the last week. So what we'll do now is we'll go to look at the items that have started to roll out. So we may have seen these previously in development. We've got 35 of these items, so let's see what you should be expecting. So you might see some of these in your tenant already, or you might see them within a week, a couple of weeks, a month or 3 months in the future. There's no specified time for how long these things take to roll out across the whole platform, but you may or may not be seeing these now. So if we jump straight in, we can see what we got here then. Microsoft Information Protection, double key encryption. We spoke about this last week. Double key encryption from Microsoft allows you to protect your highly sensitive data while maintaining full control of your key. You can protect your data with two keys, your Azure key and your key in the double key encryption service. Outlook on the web, option to end meetings early. Okay, so we've already discussed that in the launch. Outlook on the web, option to create all meetings online. We saw this last week, so you can set the default for your meeting creation in your calendar to be online Teams meetings. Outlook for Android, Play My Emails. Play My Emails on the go to get time back in your day with a voice-forward, intelligent experience for reading new email in your focus inbox when you're on the move or when your hands are busy doing other things. The optional touch interface is designed to allow you to easily take action on important new emails and offers the option to respond with your voice. Available to eligible accounts in the United States. Okay, suggested replies. We spoke about this before, so suggested replies in Microsoft Teams, I think this one relates to. So, you know, as employees, we don't even need to think anymore. Microsoft will know how we want to reply to conversations and questions. It's great. AIP scanner for on-premises available for government clouds. AIP unified labeling client for Windows available for government clouds. So we've just seen this for general normal tenants, and we're seeing the same for government clouds following not too far behind. That's nice. SharePoint Spaces, 360 image annotations and tours. So if you're not seeing SharePoint Spaces yet, it's worth a look. It's an interesting virtual reality technology for visualizing your content in your SharePoint sites. I've been on the tap for a while. I kind of like it. So 360-degree tour web part in SharePoint Spaces allows creation of immersive virtual tours for SharePoint sites. It'll be very interesting to hear people's feedback either in the comments or via Twitter or direct to me on if anyone's trying SharePoint Spaces, what you're doing with it and how you find it. SharePoint News email notifications, so receive notifications for comments, replies and likes via email from SharePoint News. Access a Powerapps custom form in SharePoint without a license. This is good. So when users send invites for custom Powerapps forms in SharePoint to Office 365 guest users, the guest users gain the same access as everyone else. Now that's useful. Highlighted content with custom query filtering. So this is SharePoint, so customers can now add their own KQL or camel code with a new advanced query option. Not overly descriptive there, Microsoft. Please give us some better descriptions on these items. Office 365 license activation changes. So in August, Microsoft will start rolling out changes to Office 365 licensing technology to make it more reliable and resilient. These changes will help simplify activation management and streamline the Office activation experience for users. Users will still sign in to activate Office on their devices, and if single sign-on is enabled, Office will automatically pick up the credentials and activate Office. As part of your subscription, users can still install and activate Office 365 apps on up to 5 PCs or Macs, 5 tablets and 5 smartphones. Previously, users who reached this limit were prompted to deactivate an existing install before activating Office on a new device, but going forward, Office will automatically sign the user out of the user's least recently used device when the user exceeds the limit, eliminating unnecessary friction. That will be welcome, and I think that's a really good way of doing it by turning it off of the least used device, because quite often I have no idea which device it relates to because all my devices have obscure machine names. Drag and drop files to the canvas to upload. So this is SharePoint. Again, please make these more descriptive. So now if you drag and drop files to the canvas, they'll be uploaded for you. What canvas? Is this a document library or is this to share? Please, Microsoft, give us more information. That means nothing to me. New advanced e-discovery solution in Microsoft 365 for government clouds. Microsoft Teams, large gallery view to see up to 49 participants. So we spoke about this previously. So Microsoft's bringing a 7x7 format, which would be good. So obviously you're not going to use this so much in a team meeting, but if people are doing webinars or virtual summits for the business, then it's good just to gauge general user feedback, see what the interest is. So I think for people delivering more webinar style meetings internally, I think this is going to be very useful just to see what the engagement is. I don't think it'll be very useful on a meeting because I don't think you can consume that many faces in one go. So I think it's the webinar bit that will be most useful. Yammer, change a regular conversation post into a question. We've discussed that previously. Microsoft Teams Together mode. I've seen some comments on this actually. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's interesting. So it basically gives you all participants a shared background. So rather than a block of 3x3, it kind of simulates a view that people are in the same room. It's meant to aid engagement in meetings and make you feel like you're more together. So I need to try this. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll be interested to hear if people have tried it. I've started to see some reports on it and what you think of it. Microsoft Teams, Avaya session border controllers certified for direct routing. That means nothing to me, but hopefully it does to some other people. Microsoft Teams, a new lobby setting, only the organizer joins the meeting directly. Yeah, we've just seen that's actually completed rollouts. There's be a couple of quick updates through the roadmap. Advanced threat protection. It's getting enhanced threat explorer. So guided hunting enhancements with delivery status, location, policy override data supporting email investigations. Also added remediation actions from Threat Explorer and advanced malware and phish detonation details. Some of these are really difficult to read on the fly. Microsoft Teams is getting support for native device camera and location capabilities for personal apps and tabs. Microsoft Lists, ready-made templates built on SharePoint. So create a new list from ready-made templates that accelerate list creation, structure, forms, and flow. There will be 8 templates at initial launch. There'll be an issue tracker, new hire checklist, event itinerary, business trip approvals, team evaluations, and asset tracker, project planning, and social media calendar. These are nice. I haven't seen these, so I'll have a look at these afterwards. We've had SharePoint list templates for donkey's years, but it's nice to see some actually fresh and more business-focused ones coming in. So I'll be very keen to hear feedback on these new list templates. Microsoft Lists homepage built on SharePoint. So basically Microsoft Lists is getting a new and updated homepage already. So basically you can start a list easily from scratch or with ready-made templates. I'm going to be interested in how this builds up. I need to look into Microsoft Lists a little bit more and just how it comes in, how it kind of spreads those lists across multiple sites, or whether you're going to have one big massive SharePoint site with all your lists on. So interesting, nice to see lists getting a bit more love, and we'll see how that builds up. Microsoft Teams, tasks in Teams. So tasks for information workers in Teams. Tasks in Teams gives you a new unified view of your personal and team tasks powered by Planner and To Do. Good, I'm glad it's powered by Planner and To Do, because what I dreaded reading that was another task management technology from Microsoft. So at least it's going to be based off Planner and To Do, which is good. Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection, preset security policies for EOP and Office 365 ATP security. Microsoft Planner, tasks for information workers in Teams, similar to what we've just seen. Office 365 Advanced Message Encryption, email revocation by end user. Microsoft Teams, new experience for launching instant channel meetings for GCC customers. So we've covered this already, but it's obviously rolling out to GCC as well. Improved Teams meeting join launcher experience for GCC customers. So again, we've seen this in general tenants, so seen the same for GCC. Again, following quite closely behind, which is nice to see for a change. Outlook on the web, in-product notification for full inbox for government clouds. Again, we've seen that for normal tenants. It's launched and it's now rolling out for government clouds. Suggested replies for German and Spanish users. That's in Outlook on the web. Microsoft Teams spell checker added for Teams desktop client on GCC High and DoD clouds. Security and Compliance Center, advanced audit available in GCC, GCC High and DoD. Microsoft Teams presenter mode for Microsoft Whiteboard in a Teams meeting. So meeting organisers now have the option to present the contents of their digital whiteboard without meeting participants having the ability to edit the contents. I'm sure that would be very useful. And lastly, in the rolling out, is teacher-led team creation. So this feature allows admins to create Office 365 groups for classes based on the students and teacher roster information, but gives educators the choice of whether or not they want a team to be created for their class. This grants them more flexibility and prevents class teams from being automatically created and turned on if they are needed. Okay, so that's what's currently rolling out, and we should either be seeing these updates in our tenants now or coming soon. So what we can do next is we can take a slightly longer term view of the platform. So when we go to the in development items, this is the things that Microsoft is currently working on. So we're not necessarily going to see these soon. We may do, we may not. But it gives a longer term view of what's currently going on and what users might see in the future. So if we jump into these in development items, and we have 36 of these, so we should get through these fairly quickly. So what's Microsoft working on at the moment? Signature cloud settings, we've discussed this already. This is something that I know my partner Sam is going to be very keen on, because he is constantly telling me that my signature is incorrect. That's because I correct it on one machine but not on all my other machines. So the fact that my signature is now going to sync across all my devices when I change it once is going to be very useful. Outlook for iOS, book a physical workplace. So you will be able to use your calendar in Outlook to reserve a physical workplace for your office location in a similar way to reserving a conference room. Yeah, interesting. I think this is a sign that Microsoft is recognising the new normal, whether you love or hate that term, but I think it's recognising that a lot of offices are going to be reducing their office space now after the global pandemic, and maybe businesses will be moving more to a shared workspace environment, in which case you maybe want to reserve a hot desk on the days that you want to go to the office. So it'll be interesting to follow that one. Advanced e-discovery, support export to PST. So yeah, so if you're doing an e-discovery, you'll be able to export discovered mails to a PST for further distribution. Advanced e-discovery delegated access, so now add external counsel to a specific case within advanced e-discovery. This feature will help organisations ensure their partners of choice are able to execute e-discovery related tasks within Microsoft 365 directly. That, I'm sure, will be very useful to a lot of people. The Office mobile apps will be available for Office 365 F1, G1 for US government customers. Improve user experience for the admin message center. Advanced e-discovery, support Teams reactions. Microsoft 365 Admin Center, introducing additional message labels in Admin Center Message Center. So the new labels will include new feature update, user impact, and admin impact. Outlook for Android, book a physical workspace. So yeah, we're just seeing that, so same on Android. Outlook on the web, more options added to insert link icon. So Microsoft are adding more options to the insert link icon in Outlook. In addition to adding hyperlinks, you will also be able to link to additional items such as suggested files and cloud locations. Advanced threat protection, enabling export of security policies. Microsoft Teams, shift schedule assistance. So shift schedule assistance will alert, that's a hard one to say, shift schedule assistance. Wow, say that 10 times fast. This will alert managers if conflicts occur anywhere in the schedule, and they will receive conflict warnings when approving schedule change requests. I'm sure that will be very welcome by shift managers. Yammer, send live event calendar invites. So send a calendar event to all community members without leaving the event page in Yammer. Yammer is getting a lot of love, I'm not going to lie. Microsoft has said they will double down on Yammer, and it looks like they are putting a lot of investment and development into it so far. So if you are still using Yammer, please let me know what you think about these updates. Yammer, turn off commenting and Q&A for live events. Post on behalf of another user. So this is interesting. Yammer, post on behalf of another user. It's a feature in Yammer which enables approved users to post on behalf of someone else. Well, that's going to be interesting. So all the updates we talk about, security and compliance and auditing and e-discovery. So I imagine it will obviously record who posted it on behalf of someone else, but I will be interested to see how that gets used and abused. Of course it'll be audited and we'll know who's posted on behalf of someone else, but that could lead some interesting conversations. Okay, Yammer, moderate comments and Q&A in live events. So this allows the producer of a live event in Yammer to moderate comments, questions and answers posted in a live event page before they are published and visible to everyone in the event. Makes sense? I think that would be a more useful feature on a public webinar platform. You would hope that people within your own organisation are professional about things and shouldn't need moderation, but unfortunately we all know the sad truth that it often does. Yammer, new immersive experience for live events. Microsoft Information Protection, Microsoft 365 endpoint data loss prevention. So extends the activity monitoring and protection capabilities of DLP to sensitive items that are on Windows 10 devices. Once devices are onboarded into device management, the information about what users are doing with sensitive items is made visible in Activity Explorer, and you can enforce protective actions on those items via DLP policies. Azure Information Protection, Microsoft 365 Government, F3, GCC High and DoD environments are now backfilled with Azure Information Protection P1. Microsoft Teams is getting new turn-in celebrations. What is that? After each successfully turned in assignment, this is for education. After each successfully turned in assignment, students can view a small congratulatory animation for their efforts. Nice, that's cute. I think that would be actually quite well received for educators and learners. Again, education, Microsoft Teams, apply policy packages using groups with Microsoft Teams Admin Center. Microsoft Teams, anonymous grading and marking in assignments. So bias and being able to identify students can have negative impacts on an educator's ability to grade objectively. With anonymous grading, educators can elect to hide the names of the students whose work they are reviewing. Wow, this is interesting. I would love to hear from some teachers on your thoughts on this. I understand that if you know who the learner is, it could lead to some bias, but I would be willing to bet that every teacher will know most of the learners who have submitted the content that they are currently grading. I would be interested to hear from teachers on that. Microsoft Teams, improvements to settings and assignments. So educators will be able to set defaults for when assignments are due, where notifications of an assignment are posted and more. Just a note, settings are class specific. Microsoft Teams, view all upcoming assignments in the Teams calendar. So education's getting a lot of love at the moment, which is nice to see. So keep tabs on all of your students' responsibilities and due dates by visualizing their assignments within the Teams calendar. Again, I think the reason education is getting a lot of love is probably due to the global epidemic. I think we're probably going to see a lot more remote learning and a lot more technology taking the place. So if we do see future scenarios like we're in now, schools and teachers are more capable of working remotely. I really like this is coming in for digital submission of assignments anyway, even in a classroom environment. It's really pushing technology forward in this regard. So I'd love to hear from educators on your thoughts on this. Assignments, user interface improvements for large class sizes. We'll go through these. Again, education assignments, improvements to support large file sizes and counts. So file sizes up to 500 megabytes and more than 10 total attachments per assignment. Again, assignments and education, link thumbnail preview and assignments. I think education's got a brand new team here. View assignments across all classes. Education, early class access API. Schools data sync, automatic team creation. Language support for assignments. Education, Microsoft Teams, hard audio mute. So it gives meeting organisers the ability to mute one-to-many meeting participants while removing the muted participants' ability to unmute themselves. Yeah, I guess very useful delivering a virtual class. Education again, grade sync to one roster API. So with this API, grades entered in assignments can be automatically pushed to one roster compliant school information system. Oh, this one's not education. Woo. Available in the Office, Microsoft Forms, available in the Office mobile app. So Microsoft Forms is a web app which can be accessed from browser or desktop or mobile devices. Office mobile app is a single mobile app that combines Word, PowerPoint and Excel with exclusive features. And Microsoft are now integrating Forms into the Office mobile app, and then users will be able to open recent forms and create new forms from the mobile app. I'm still not sure. I don't think a single Office mobile app that encompasses Word, PowerPoint and Excel is a good idea. It's going to be huge. It's got to be difficult to manage. I'd never had a problem with separate apps for each of these, but yeah, there you go. Okay, 35. Microsoft Teams Together Mode for, we've discussed this already, we know what this is. So this is currently in development for GCC, GCC High and DoD. And last but not least, Microsoft Teams large gallery view up to 49 participants. Again, we've discussed this for regular tenants, and it's just developing the feature now for GCC, DoD, and GCC High. So there we have it. That's not bad timing. I think we're looking about 35 minutes, so I'm trying to keep these around about half an hour if possible. So that's all your updates. That's everything that's now changed on the platform or is changing. So you should be well prepared to go ahead, support your users, educate them on what's changing and what's coming, and hopefully be a more successful and better empowered 365 admin. Thank you very much for joining me. I will be back next Friday, and if you have any comments on what we spoke about today, please feel free to reach out and let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much. Goodbye.